They sure do. And speaking of another team that still has a lot of dudes on their team, San Francisco 49ers prevailed against the Arizona Cardinals 16-15.
Wasn't somebody at this game? Somebody on the show?
Yes. Yes. That was me. Yes. It's pretty awesome. That's how Allie and I celebrated 8 months of being together. And it was pretty great. And I'm grateful that we got to go together. So yeah, I was there live at Levi Stadium yesterday in Santa Clara to watch the 49ers eke out a 16-15 win against the Cardinals. But it wasn't all good news. As Kevin and I talked about earlier, James Conner had a season-ending ankle injury for the Cardinals. And for the 49ers, they had a significant loss as well, as star edge rusher Nick Bosa is out for the season with a torn right ACL. He had torn his ACL and meniscus in his left knee back in 2020. And this same knee that he just tore his ACL in the right knee, he partially tore his ACL in high school back in 2015. And so
wasn't on the injury report.
No, yeah, no, not at all. And coming out of the game, even though Nick Bosa was shown on the Fox broadcast looking up at friends or family in the stands, he wasn't looking at me, but he was looking up at friends or family in the stands, and he's just shaking his head, and then he gave a big thumbs down. And when I saw that clip on social media, I thought to myself, like, yeah, Toddy, my heart was broken. But when I saw that clip on social media, I thought, like, okay, he's not only out today, is he out for a couple weeks? No, like, I did not think it was as severe as it ended up turning out to be. Even Adam Schefter was tweeting earlier today on Monday, and here we are back on our regularly scheduled Mondays. But Schefter was tweeting this morning that it seemed optimistic for Nick Bosa, that he hadn't hurt his knee as bad as we initially thought. But just because it's a clean tear and there's no ligaments still hanging around there, like, he tore that ACL right off the bone, now Nick Bosa is going to be out for the entire 2025 season. And Toddy, I don't really know what to say as a 49ers fan, because, like, on one hand, I'm so happy that they're 3-0. They're first place in the NFC West. An NFC West where all four teams have winning records. The 49ers are at the top of that division, which seems to be stacked this year. But yet, George Kittle goes on IR with a hamstring injury after 1+ quarter. Hopefully he'll be back around week 5, week 6.
Really,
Brock Purdy. The one drive he scores a touchdown, and then just all went downhill from there for Kittle. And Brock Purdy, not only does he hurt his shoulder, but he also hurts his toe, and that has put him out for the last 2 games. Hopefully Brock Purdy can return in week 4, because good old McCorkle Jones, he also is dealing with a nagging injury. And so for the 49ers, man, it like, I kept saying last year how the 2024 season, and that's not to mention the fact that Brandon Ayuk is still out. He hasn't returned yet from his torn ACL. But last year, I just kept saying it feels like 2020 all over again. It just feels like deja vu. And now here we are, Jaevon, for a second consecutive season where the 49ers are extremely hurt again. And I saw a stat from Clutch Points today that I wanted to mention before I get your thoughts on this, Jaevon, is in 2018, the 49ers were the 4th most injured team in the NFL. 2019, 6th most injured. In 2020, they were the most injured team in the NFL. 2021, the 3rd most. 2022, the 9th most. And once again, in 2024, they were the most injured team in the NFL. So that kind of hits the nail on the head as far as what I was saying last year with the deja vu from 2020 to 2024. And now in 2025, I don't know what the official statistic is, but I feel confident in saying that the 49ers are one of the most injured teams in the NFL already in 2025. And so Luckily for Kittle and Purdy, they still have the chance to come back this season, unlike Nick Bosa. And so this feels like rock bottom, Jaevon. But yet, it's Victory Monday. The 49ers are 3-0, and they actually have a competent kicker in Eddie Pinheiro, which, Lord, I'm so grateful for. But what was your reaction to all of this, Jaevon? Like the fact that the 49ers got a 1-point division win at home to be in first place at 3-0, but then also losing arguably one of their best players for the year.
It's like the Thanos Avengers meme. What did it cost? Everything to get to 3-0. Shaun already mentioned George Kittle's out. It is Brandon Ayuk, who's already been out with – he tore everything that you could possibly tear on his knee. He's been out. Purdy's out. He's gone. Shaun did not mention CJ West, rookie, our rookie D tackle, broke his thumb yesterday. So he's going to be out. And obviously the Nick Bosa injury, which is devastating. And you saw Trent Williams at the podium last night after the game. You need like 3 or 4 people to replace Nick Bosa. And I'm not even going to sit here in front and act like there's anybody, although I did mention in the group chat that Michael Williams is going to turn into Aldon Smith.
Not only Michael, he said Bryce Huff, ladies and gentlemen. He said Bryce Huff is going to put on the cape and save the day.
I am not going to sit here and lie to you guys. You can't replace Nick Bosa. There's no, I don't know, unless you go out and get Max Crosby or Aaron Donald's coming out of retirement. There's no way you can replace this guy. And it sucks because this is not the same knee that he tore a few years ago. This is a different knee. So that's a whole nother beast in itself. I mean, it's just devastating you come from the way that the game was yesterday and all the emotions to get to the game a little bit. Usually all the Cardinals games are dogfights, very low scoring. Saleh was dialing up just shit out of his ass. I thought the Kyler Murray safety should have been a safety, but I guess the ball was out of the end zone like by the hair on his chin. And the crazy part is the Cardinals ended up getting safety, and we had to punt the ball back to the Cardinals after they went up. They went up 2 points. And I do want to give a shout out to Upton Stout, who had an insane, like, game-changing pass breakup that basically made the Cardinals punt the ball back to us, so we were able to get the ball. Mac Jones, legacy drive yesterday. Drove the length of the field, Kev. We were all the way down to 20, and Mac put a hell of a drive together. Would also like to mention that Kevin said that Ricky Pearsall cannot be a wide receiver 1, and he has 2 games with over 100 yards. We've only played 3 games. So, and he's also on pace for 1,000 yards this year. Just want to point that out. Ricky went 8 for 117 yesterday. So he's just a guy that will eventually find the end zone, but he's going to be a problem for a lot of DBs for weeks to come. I do think this defense is night and day with Robert Saleh, a totally different defense. Coming from Nick Sorensen last year, it is just a breath of fresh air when you have a guy. I did hear something that all great teams usually have 2 head coaches on their roster. You got the head coach and Kyle Shanahan, who's basically in charge of the offense. You got Robert Saleh, who's basically the head coach of the defense, and they make things happen, man. When they're together, beautiful things happen. I do understand the injury is bringing upon a yet gloomy Monday, but if you look up over the hill, the Niners are 3-0, guys. One of the 6 unbeaten teams left in the NFL, and they got the Jags coming to town. Demarcus Robinson coming back off of a suspension should get some help in the wide receiver department. Jawan Jennings is considered day-to-day. He is looking on the up and up to be playing, and hopefully Brock Purdy's going to be practicing this coming up week. So we're going to start to get our offense back a little bit. Hopefully. Oh, and by the way, after everything that has been going on, all the injuries, all this and that, the guy who is healthy is Christian McCaffrey. How crazy is that? He's the one that's healthy, ready to go. So, Niners are 3-0, but we did lose our best edge rusher, a former defensive player of the year. So we gotta figure it out. I know Saul is gonna. I saw people saying we should go out and get this guy. I saw Trey Hendrickson out there. That doesn't make any sense for us because Trey Hendrickson just got paid, and Nick Bosa, who obviously is hurt, we're still paying him $40 million. So I just want to know where this money is going to come from for us to go out and trade for a guy in Trey Hendrickson. We would probably go get a guy who's on the last, like a young guy who's on like the last part of his rookie deal, or go get an older vet who's on like an expiring. That's what would make sense. But John Lynch, never phases to surprise me and things that he's going to be aggressive and try to make this team as best as possible. But I do see the Niners trying to go out and get an edge rusher before the trade deadline.
That would make the most sense. I've seen people throwing around Trey Hendrickson, and I'm like, I don't think the Bengals will trade Trey Hendrickson right now after they finally got him to agree to a contract.
They're like, y'all gonna pay his contract?
Yeah, I mean, they were presenting him with bullshit for so long, and so he finally agreed to something after they were trying to finesse him for so long. But Max Crosby is a pipe dream. I don't know if Pete Carroll would. I know he's not the GM, but he has a lot of influence in that Las Vegas organization. And so I don't know if Pete Carroll could bring himself to stomach trading Max Crosby to the 49ers, even if the 49ers gave up a haul, just like the Eagles offered a haul for Micah Parsons, and Jerry Jones was like, absolutely not. They might have the best offer on the table. Can't do it. Can't trade. Versus you have a team like the Giants who just let their top player walk
down the street.
Yeah.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
Yeah. So speaking about cruising down the street, Kevin, just what did you think about this 49ers game, but also the loss of Nick Bosa? I don't think it's a laughing matter. I know you were just trolling, but we'll have to wait to debut the new AJ Brown meme. But overall, from obviously we just heard the biased perspective from two 49ers fans, but just what was your reaction to the 49ers not only moving to 3-0 on a game-winning field goal, which I never thought I would have said that sentence 2 weeks ago, to also the fact that Nick Bosa, one of their best players, is out for the season. And now the 49ers have to rely on a former Eagle in Bryce Huff.
I'm happy for you guys. You guys have beat 3 teams that stink. I mean, you guys week in and week out, the group chat, I'm relieved. Oh my gosh. It's kind of like you guys don't think you're going to win these games. Not only do you have the easiest schedule in football, but you're winning these games by 3 points, 2 points, 4 points, 5 points, 1 point. And it's like, this is the easiest schedule in football. And every Monday we come on here and we guys are screaming from the rooftops. These are games you guys should beat the shit out of them. You guys should be winning games by 30, 20 points. The Saints are going to have a top 5 pick. The Cardinals are going to have a top 10 pick. The Seahawks, are on the tipping scale, I guess. They could be good. They could be not. We're just waiting for Sam Darnold to turn back into a frog at some point. But these are games that you guys are scraping by. And I get it. A win is a win. But it's like when you play 3 non-playoff teams and you win, like I said, by 5 points, by 4 points, by 1 point, at some point, you guys aren't going to be able to pull out these late heroic games. And I'm not a Niners fan, and I don't want to come on here as a Niners hater at all, but it's like you guys played Yuba City, CRC, and American River, and we're celebrating for beating teams that you should have beat. You have the easiest schedule in football. You should be winning these games, but you guys aren't winning in a fashion to where an Eagles fan is like, shit, the Niners, oh my gosh, The Niners are coming. It's like, you guys haven't played anybody. And it's like, Tatade's coming, and I really wish he would have been on the air for this. It's like, yeah, Ricky Pearsall had 100 yards, but it's like, you don't throw the ball to Marquez Scantlin, Sky Moore. Like, who else you going to throw the ball to? He's the only receiver out there. Besides him, it's just CMC. And Sunday, Pearsall, eight receptions. CMC, 10 receptions. The next highest reception was 4. So it's like, yeah, he's looking really good now, but it's like he has no one else to compete with in that room. When Jaevon was there, Ricky wasn't going for 100 yards. So when BA comes back, what does that look like? So, congratulations. You're 3-0. League. You don't win games easily. You guys to get these W's, congratulations. It's the NFL. But the way as you're kind of dismantling itself sucks. It's been Skim's boy. So we saw it live on air. It didn't look bad at all. And then, like Shaun mentioned, they skimmed over to him, and he's putting the thumbs down. And you're like, oh shit, like maybe this is worse than what it is. But the Niners, every year in and year out, they deal with these same problems. They deal with the injuries, they deal with the injuries, and you guys find out a way to overcome them. So I feel like you guys are just going to do it again. But early on, it's not a good look. I would hate to have to be in your guys' shoes and have to lose everybody. But to the Niners fans that are watching, Bryce Huff is not the answer. So get out there, Papa John, and bring in an edge rusher, because he got a Super Bowl ring for not playing a single game in the playoffs. So healthy scratch every game. So best of luck to you guys. You have the Bucks next. No, Jaguars. You said the Jaguars next. So a chance to go 4-0, and then see how it all plays out. But you guys have to figure it out defensively. Robert Saleh came back for a reason, and he's going to get the guys to rally around him. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys play finish out the year.
Yeah, as Smooth said, it didn't even look serious live, and so that's the most unfortunate thing. And the craziest part about it, Kevin, is that Nick Bosa, I saw clips afterwards, he was literally doing high knees on the sideline after he tore his ACL. Like, that man is just different, absolutely different. And so, credit to him. It's unfortunate, the injury that he had, and that he's going to be out for the entire season now. But it is what it is. It's the reality. The league moves on. The 49ers will be moving on. And I just hope that these injuries don't keep snowballing to the point that we saw in 2020 and 2024, where the 49ers are unable to overcome those injuries. That's what I hope that they're able to avoid, but I guess only time will tell. So it'll be interesting to see if they can overcome it.